Hey guys, it's Sherlog, and today I am level 59 on my Witch Doctor. I just wanted to show you guys basically my build, how it's been working for me, and I've been doing phenomenal damage. I'm doing about 26k damage at almost, as long as I'm buffed, I'm doing about 26k damage. My buddy here, Coats and Cheese, and Freelancer, they're kind of just hanging out. They might be joining me for just a minute to show off some of the damage, but let's go ahead and look at the build real quick. Let's see, I want to bring up my book here. So my build is probably a little different than some people, but it's really working out for me amazingly. So I just want to show you. Very first thing, primary, is the poison dart. It has 160% extra damage plus the 100% weapon damage and 40% damage for the 2 seconds of poison. Not a big deal. That's just if I run out of mana. It costs 10 mana to cast. It's like nothing. So this is my big one here, though. This is the zombie charger. 205% weapon damage. But then if you look at the bottom there, it does 236% damage. And if we do this, you'll notice just the horde of zombie buffalo. That's what I call them. The zombie buffalo that come out and do all kinds of damage. And we're going to show this off here in a second. I've basically been steamrolling hell thanks to my gear in this. And I've been very fortunate in my gear, as I'll show you guys that in a second. So then I have Mass Confusion. This is good for especially some of the rares where you can't kill their minions necessarily. So I use this to kind of stun them and try to get through the boss. Doesn't always work, but it helps. Mass Confusion is also just a lot of fun. So an absolute must you must have is the Soul Harvester with Soul to Waste. The reason I've done this is some people would look at the other runes and think that they're better. I'm going to disagree with that. Here's why. You feed on the life force of 5 enemies. So you can go up to 5 enemies, increasing your intelligence, which increases your damage, all that stuff for 30 seconds. However, there's a lot of times where you can't get yourself right in the center of things. So I increased the duration of it to 60 seconds. It gives me that buff that much longer. It's very nice to have. Now, if for whatever reason I should fall out of mana, if I should ever roll out of mana, I have my big bad voodoo here. This is, as you can see, it increases the attack speed of all 20% by 20 seconds, but the best part is it restores 122 mana per second, basically making it so I never run out of mana forever, for a long time, for 20 seconds. That's a long time. That is forever in Diablo 3. And then finally, my Fetish Army. This is nice when I need a frontline support. If for whatever reason I just can't get in there and do the damage. They do quite a bit of damage on their own. I don't really necessarily have a recommendation of which type of rune to use for your Fetish Army. I'm using the 2 Fetish ones that breathe Cone of Fire. It's good for AoE DPS. Maybe not the best to use for against bosses, but it does okay. And I like it a lot. It's a lot of fun. It's just really a fun spell to have. And so finally we go into my passive abilities. And these are all mana regen abilities for most of the part. You'll see that I have a 20% increase in my mana regeneration with a 1% maximum mana per second. Or 20%, yeah. Increase by 20%. Regeneration, 1% of your mana per second. So that's good. Blood Ritual, 50% mana is paid with your life. That's okay. More mana is good to go. Plus, it regenerates your health. So I don't have any other heal regenerating abilities, so I use this one. I'm sure there are some other ones that I could use, but this is the one I like to use. And more blood, more mana, so that's all good there. And finally, I could probably switch this out for something a little bit better. I haven't really looked through it here lately, but I like this one a lot. Fetish Psychopaths. Basically, every time you cast a summoning spell, or more like this, you are likely to possibly earn a new little fetish creature that will fight for you and do extra DPS. So finally, we're going to take a look at gear. I'm going to tell my buddy here, hey, just showing gear real quick. And then we'll go. And so I'm just going to tell them that we're looking at the gear. So the gear is super important, but it's super important for when you get into the Hell difficulty and beyond. Now, I haven't done Inferno yet, obviously. I'm in Act 3 Hell right now, and I want to tell you, I am steamrolling through Hell, okay? I'm just desecrating Hell. It's not even a problem with me right now. But gear is incredibly important. You'll notice that I have a high intelligence. My health could be a little bit better. It's 22k health. It's lacking a little bit. I would like to get a little bit more health. But I'm always keeping my weapon up to date. As you see, I am level 59. I have a level 59 weapon. And this stuff, of course, can be resold on the auction house. I have basically gemmed everything to have intelligence, except for this, which I'm going to put a gem in it right now. To increase, I don't know, do I want to increase the intelligence or do I want to increase the vitality? I am going to go with vitality. My DPS is very high right now, and so having more health is definitely a huge plus. So I'll let you guys look over over this stuff real quick. You'll notice that it all has intelligence with vitality. This was given to me by my goody buddy Coats and Cheese. He gave me these guardian bracers with 12% magic find. It's pretty amazing. And he also found me this amulet. Holy shit! Look at this amulet, guys. 164 intelligence, 90 vitality, and a socket. I couldn't have asked for a better helmet. I firmly believe you should try to get mana stacking gear, or mana regeneration gear. It's like, watch me blow this, and watch how fast my mana is regenerating. So it gives me more mana because it's constantly regenerating. And you see I have mana regeneration on this awesome one-hander. I have mana regeneration on my mojo, mana regeneration on my helmet, and I think I have some mana regeneration somewhere else, maybe too. But that's my gear. It's great stuff. I've been very fortunate, and I got a bunch of stuff I need at auction house. All right, so let's do this. All right, let's steamroll. Now I'm probably still gonna die. Hell is still difficult. Even with having a lot of DPS, you can definitely take some damage. Now, I've noticed here lately that basically in Hell, especially, that if you have a party of 4 people and they're not all able to deal with the amount of damage that's incoming, it is actually way more difficult with things. Okay. We're just going to plow through that real quick. I'm going to talk to Tyrael. I love Tyrael. I think he's the coolest character in all the Diablo series ever. But yeah, I'm going to wait until we get into something difficult, and then I'll record then, and I'll invite you guys back in to watch that. Well, basically, while we're talking real quick, so basically I do 9k DPS, but if I have my buff on, it's over almost 11k, I think now, almost 12k. And then with my zombie charger at 236%, you're looking at double the DPS right there. And so you're looking at easily over 20k, anywhere from 24 to 26k DPS. So it's absolutely amazing. I can't wait to show you guys the horde of monsters. Let's see. I'm going to try to get my thing up here, get my buff going, stun these guys. I'm going to take a little damage there. That was pretty nasty. Luckily, my barbarian friend is picking up some ruins like no problem. Go ahead and cast that until I get more creatures. And oh, I'm down. Yeah, they had the poisonous ground attack. I hate those. That's awful. And actually, speaking of which, why don't you guys, if you wouldn't mind, what is your most... What's the one type of monster where you're like, no, F that, I'm out of here? For me, it's definitely... I hate mortars. My barbarian friend has died. I'm going to go ahead and blow off a few of my buffs here, just to try to get rid of some of these guys. Probably wasn't the best time to blow a cooldown, obviously, but whatever. I just want to put my fetish army out there, get them out on the front line. And while they're doing that, I'm just going to kind of finish them off. Now, the one downside of the Buffalo zombie horde is that they take like a half a second to cast. And so when it takes that long to cast something, it really puts you in a vulnerable state. So that's always dangerous. Okay, nice. Weapon rack.
You're too late.
Alright, let's do some damage. Get my buff going here. And you'll see, look at this. Are you guys seeing this? Just blowing through it. Like whatever, not a big deal. I'm definitely the life of the party when we have 4 creatures, or 4 co-op. Oh, it's more of that poison. God, I hate the poison. That's the worst. You gotta really keep a lookout for that. Ooh, this is not looking good. I'm gonna cast my Mass Confusion. I got him off me just long enough. Hopefully. Big numbers, big numbers. Gonna grab that. Just rocking it there. There we go. That's what's up. You see how fast my mana regenerates. Also, just a little bit of advice. Make sure that when you guys are kind of leveling up, especially like in the early 50s, that you're doing full clears. And by a full clear, I mean you go and you explore everything. You find caves, you find rares, because they're going to drop your gear. Plus, they're good experience. There's no reason not to. People think that they're just going to do boss runs. You don't do boss runs in Diablo 3 anymore. It's all about exploration. It's all about finding events. It's all about finding rare monsters to kill. Those are going to be the people that drop your best gear, not the bosses. And I thought that it was a really cool concept. Oh, here we go. Wasn't paying attention. That's the thing. When I'm talking, I kind of don't pay attention. But one of the things that they said that the bosses are is they're basically the bosses are sort of like your wall, and once you can break through them, you have earned the right to kind of go into the next area and start farming for the monsters. But let's go ahead and kill off one of these bosses here. We'll kill these purples hopefully and make it through it, and then I think we'll call it a day. I just want to show off some of the damage here, and just how devastating it is. All right, and I'm actually going to pull my fetish army out too. Let them take the front line there, and oh, they got a wall. The wall is preventing me from hitting them. I'm going to pull out some more mana since the wall ate up a lot of my mana there.
That is impossible.
Standing in the... There we go, we're looking good. Coats and Cheese is still alive. That guy's goner. And there you go. There you go. Easy. Easy. In fact, I would like to do one more thing. I'd like to show off just how much the increase is when you get this buff. But because in Hell difficulty, it can be really difficult to get up in their face. And so that's why I put that extended buff on there. But alright guys, I think that's going to be around it. I just want to show off a little bit. And I'll keep you guys updated. I'll be hitting 60 here shortly, I'm sure, within the next day or so. So see you guys around. Sure, log out.